For some Americans, it will not be multipolar. That if America declines, China will take over. And indeed, China's economy has already overtaken the American economy in PPP terms by a significant margin. But this misunderstands the nature of China. When the Americans blithely talk about G2, the Chinese protest. They don't want it, not because they're modest, but because it means trouble. If your aspiration is to be a global hegemon, your problems are endless. And in their own history, because they're big enough and homogeneous enough, it's better to build walls and to keep trouble out. Every dynasty rebuilds walls in China. And in the People's Republic, there are new walls for Hollywood movies, for publications, for the internet, even for viruses. Why? Because China, to protect its own homogeneity, needs to keep out and control foreign influence. If you expand, like the British people once did, and you incorporate vast realms, in the end, the external proletariat becomes your internal proletariat, and your society will change, for the good and for the ill. They don't want that. Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, they are not like London, New York, or Paris. They are homogeneous. And this homogeneity is both a strength and a weakness of China. So when the Chinese say that they have no wish to be a global hegemon, it is not a tactical statement. It's because they think it's foolish. It's unwise. Their own historical experiences teach them that it's better to confine your development within the wall. And that is why they've always talked about the internal circulation, which is protected, and the external circulation, which is subject to all kinds of turbulence because of global politics. The question is, how enduring is this position? This position is enduring because of the nature of Chinese society and the fact that for a population twice that of Europe, they have one literature, one set of heroes, and a history which is marked by long amplitudes, long ascent, long declines. If you're born at the wrong time, it's just your bad luck. But if you're born at the right time, well, that's your good fortune. How did this come about, the homogeneity of the Chinese people? One, of course, is the fact that the written language is separated from its pronunciation. That gives it a fixed value, a digital quality. Today, primary school children in China can recite verses from Confucius' Analects in the original. They can read the characters. The pronunciation is different from what it was 2,000 years ago, but it's the same content. And it's across a vast realm. And the other accident in Chinese history is paper. Paper was invented in China more than 2,000 years ago. And it was a closely guarded secret, the technology to make paper, until the 8th century, when in the famous battle in Central Asia, the Chinese army lost during the Tang Dynasty, China's greatest dynasty, and the knowledge to make paper leaked to the Islamic world. And paper transformed the Islamic world. Paper, 8th century. By the year 1000, it reached Cairo. By the year 1002, it reached Muslim Spain. The Islamic script, the Renaissance in Islam, was all made possible by paper. Why is paper important? Paper is important for the storage and processing of information. You watch a Chinese artist with brush, ink, and paper. How many paintings he can draw in an hour? If you have to use a paintbrush and canvas, you could be at it for weeks. When you record on paper and ink black, which consists of nanoparticles, the speed is orders of magnitude greater than writing with a hard nib and parchment. So the recording of Chinese history is voluminous. Alan Turing, I think whose ancestry was Scottish, he had this insight that if you have an unlimited quantity of paper, you can do an unlimited quantity of algorithmic computation. Therefore, to codify knowledge, therefore, to organize, therefore, to organize more people across time and space, irrigation works, storage of grain, political control, communication, the recording of climatic change, of water levels. When COVID happened, the Chinese told their own people, do not worry. We have a complete record of every epidemic in China going back 2,500 years. Every epidemic. This data intensity of Chinese society makes it particularly conservative. China is predictable because the legacy is too voluminous. So when the Chinese say, we prefer a multipolar world, even though they may be the biggest of the pole, they mean it in their own self-interest.